morning students. Once again I welcome you all in our science class. Now in our previous class we were discussing about the nutrition in humans. I told you that the human digestive system consists of mouth, then after mouth comes the esophagus, after esophagus comes the stomach, then the small intestine, large intestine, after that comes the rectum and anus. Okay, so these were the organs of the digestive system. I also told you that how we take food. The food is taken into our mouth. In our mouth we are having the gland, that is the salivary gland. The three pairs of salivary gland is present in our mouth. The salivary gland produces the saliva as well as the enzyme called the amylase. Now I was also discussing about the function of amylase, what the amylase is doing. Amylase, whatever food we eat, okay, whatever food we eat, first it is getting chewed with the help of our teeth, okay, and then what happens, the food which we have taken in, the food which is chewed, that is then acted upon by the salivary amylase. This salivary amylase acts on starch, particularly starch, means in our mouth the digestion of starch occurs. Okay, this starch is then broken into, it is getting digested and it is converted into sugar. Okay, I hope you all have understood. Now then I had also discussed about the teeth. Okay, I had also discussed about the tooth decay. Now in this class we will be discussing about tongue first. What is the function of tongue? How tongue is responsible in the digestion process. Okay, all of us are well aware of tongue. What is tongue? Tongue is a fleshy muscular organ. Okay, that function of tongue is right from the beginning, right from class 4th we are studying about the sense organs. We had studied about the tongue. The function of tongue is for tasting, isn't it? Now what happens here, this tongue is attached at the back and it is free at the front, and you are able to move your tongue in all the directions. Okay, now in 7th class you will be studying about the function. It is not just tasting. Okay, the function of tongue is not just tasting, there are other functions also. Okay, first of all it is having the taste buds. Okay, now these taste buds, it is due to the presence of these taste buds that we are able to detect, we are able to identify the 4 basic tastes. For example, the 4 basic tastes are salty, sour, sweet and bitter. And you can see from the diagram also that the 4 tastes, it is given here in this diagram. This is the diagram of tongue which is showing the 4 areas, the 4 regions where the taste buds are found. For example, this region is for sweet, this region is for salty, these 2 regions are for sour, and this region is for bitter. Bitter means kadwa. Okay. Now, this is the first function. It is helpful in identifying the different tastes. The second function of tongue is it helps in mixing the chewed food with saliva. We are having saliva. The food which we are eating, that is mixed with saliva. And who is helping in this process? The mixing of chewed food with saliva, it is getting helped by tongue. Tongue is helping in mixing the chewed food with saliva. Third function of tongue is it helps in swallowing the food. We are able to swallow the food. It is due to the presence of tongue. Okay, so these are the functions of tongue. I hope you all have understood. Okay, next we are going to study about an activity. Now this activity is regarding what? This activity is to show you have to study the role of saliva on food. Means what is the role of saliva on food? Now the procedure which you have to apply over here is, firstly you have to take 2 test tubes. You can see over here 2 test tubes you are taking. Okay, in test tube A, the other one is test tube B. In test tube A you are putting some boiled rice. Okay, in test tube B you are putting the boiled rice which has been chewed for about 4 to 5 minutes. You have chewed the rice and that rice is being put in test tube B. Now in both the test tubes A as well as B, you are adding about 4 to 5 milliliters of water. After adding water, you have to put 2 or 3 drops of iodine solution in both A and B test tubes. I hope you all have understood. I will repeat. You are taking 2 test tubes, A and other one is B. In test tube A, you are putting some boiled rice. In test tube B, you are putting some boiled rice which you have chewed for about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay. Then after that, you have to add 4 to 5 milliliters of water and 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution in both the test tubes. Now what is your observation? What will you observe? You will observe that in your first test tube, that is the test tube A, blue-black coloration appears. In test tube A, you will be finding blue-black color. Whereas in test tube B, there is no such color change. So why does this happen? This happens because the boiled rice which you have kept in test tube A, it is having starch. Okay, and due to the presence of starch, it has given the positive iodine test. Means it is appearing blue-black in color because starch is found over there. And in test tube B, you are taking the chewed rice. Here starch is no more found because you have chewed the rice and this rice has been mixed with saliva, and saliva as well as the amylase enzyme which is found in our mouth, that amylase, it has acted upon the starch and has converted the starch into sugar. So as a result, no more starch is found over here. No blue-black color appears in test tube B because B is having the chewed rice. I hope you all have understood. So this is the effect of saliva on food. Okay. Now I will be discussing about esophagus. Now what is esophagus? Esophagus, the other name for esophagus is food pipe. Okay, and I told you that after the food is being chewed by our mouth, by our teeth, then after it is getting chewed, it is moving down towards the esophagus. Okay, so the food is swallowed. The swallowed food is being passed from the mouth to the stomach, and through which passage it is moving into the stomach? It is through the food pipe or the esophagus. Our food is moving through the esophagus to the stomach. Now this food pipe, that is the esophagus, it runs along the neck and the chest. Okay, these are the two regions along which the food pipe, that is the esophagus, runs. Firstly, the food is pushed down by the movement of the wall of the food pipe. Okay, and here I want to discuss the very important thing is no digestion takes place here. It only acts like a passage. It is allowing the swallowed food from the mouth to move into the stomach. Now it happens sometimes you might be suffering from vomiting. How it happens? Sometimes what happens, the food is not accepted by our stomach. Stomach is not accepting the food and this results in vomiting. So here I want to recapitulate about esophagus. Esophagus is the tube-like structure. It is also known as the food pipe. The swallowed food, it passes from the mouth to the stomach through this passage. This passage is known as the esophagus, which runs along the neck and the chest. Okay. So this you can see over here how the food is moving downwards. Okay, and it is reaching the stomach. This figure shows the movement of food through the esophagus. Okay. Next comes the stomach. Now, what is stomach? Stomach is a thick-walled, flattened, bag-like structure, and where it is found? It is found in the upper abdomen. So what is stomach? It is a thick-walled, flattened bag-like structure which is found in the upper abdomen. Now, the alimentary canal, we had discussed about the alimentary canal, the organs of the alimentary canal. This stomach, it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. I hope you all understand now. It is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It is able to receive the food from the food pipe or the esophagus. Okay? Now, very important thing, just try to understand it. Okay? The inner lining of the stomach is having the lining, and the inner lining of the stomach, they secrete three substances. The first substance is the mucus, second one is hydrochloric acid, and the third one is the digestive juice. Now I will be discussing about the function of each of these substances. The first one, the mucus. What is the function of mucus? What does it do? The mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach. Okay? What does the mucus do? It protects the inner lining of the stomach. Second one, the hydrochloric acid. What does it do? Since it is the acid, it is able to kill the bacteria. Now the bacteria which might have entered along with the food, okay, the food which we are taking, okay, the food which we are going inside the stomach, it might have bacteria. So this acid, the hydrochloric acid, it is able to kill the bacteria which has entered along with the food. Second function of the hydrochloric acid is it makes the medium acidic. So as a result, if it is making the medium acidic, so the digestive juice will be able to act properly. So acidic medium, in the acidic medium only the digestive juice is able to work, it is able to function properly. Okay, I hope you all are understanding. What is the function of mucus? Mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach. The hydrochloric acid, it is performing two functions over here. It is able to kill the bacteria which has entered along with the food. Second function of hydrochloric acid is it makes the medium acidic, which is very much helpful for digesting. Okay. The third function, the third substance. The third substance is the digestive juice. Now, what is the function of digestive juice? The digestive juice helps in breaking down the protein into the simpler substance. Okay? Protein, the food which is having the protein. This protein is able to break, okay, by the digestive juice. The digestive juice is able to break the protein into simple form. Okay? Now, the stomach is performing the digestion. The digestion is occurring in the stomach, but it is not completed. It is partial. It is not completed. So, the partially digested food is moving from the stomach into the small intestine. Okay? The partially digested food, it will be moving from the stomach to the small intestine so that the digestion may be completed in the small intestine. So I hope you all have understood what is stomach. Okay, the function of stomach, how digestion occurs. Okay, so now the food comes to the small intestine. What is small intestine? After the stomach, we are having in our body, we are having the small intestine where the food is entering. The small intestine is a highly coiled like structure. Its length ranges about 7.5 to 8 meters. Okay, 7.5 to 8 meters is its length. And let me tell you that digestion in the small intestine, digestion of all the types of food occurs. It is completed in the small intestine, I mean to say. Okay, digestion of all types of food is carried out here, and the digestion is completed in the small intestine. I told you that in the stomach partially digested food is there in the stomach, and from the stomach it is moving down to the small intestine. In the small intestine, digestion is completed. Digestion is occurring in the small intestine, but on the other hand, absorption of the digested food is also taking place here in the small intestine. Absorption is also taking place. Okay, the absorbed food, what happens, the food which is absorbed, it is passing into the bloodstream, and the blood is able to carry these nutrients to all the parts of the body. I hope you all have understood. What happens here, I will repeat, the absorbed food, okay, the food which is absorbed, it passes to the blood, okay, and the blood will be carrying all the nutrients to all the parts of our body. Okay, now digestion in the small intestine is, how is it carried out? Okay, digestion in small intestine, it is happening, it is occurring with the help of two processes. Okay, what are the two small steps, I should say? Firstly, due to the secretion from the liver and pancreas. Second, the digestive juices which are secreted by the small intestine. So these are the two things, these are the two substances which are secreted, and due to the secretions, the small intestine is able to digest the food substances. I will explain you. Okay, don't worry. Now, I hope you all understand, you all remember that digestive tract. Okay, in the small intestine, near the small intestine, you have seen the liver, and I also told you that three glands are also involved in the digestion process: the salivary gland, the liver, and the pancreas. Salivary is the largest gland, it is reddish brown gland. Okay, it is located where? In the upper part of the abdomen on the right hand side. Okay, now what is the function of liver? Liver secretes bile juice. Now you will be asking that what is bile juice? What is the function of bile juice? The bile juice which is secreted by the liver is helpful in the digestion of fats. Okay, F-A-T-S, fats. Okay, the bile juice is helpful in digestion of fats. Now, when this bile juice is produced by the liver, it gets stored in the gallbladder. See the structure, I hope you all remember the structure. There was a small bag-like structure, that is the gallbladder, where the bile juice which is secreted by the liver, it is stored in the gallbladder. Okay? Then this was the function of liver. Now comes pancreas. What is pancreas? Pancreas is also a gland. See, this is pancreas, this is gallbladder, this is liver. Liver had secreted this liver had secreted the bile juice, and it is getting stored in the gallbladder. Now comes the work of pancreas. What is this pancreas? Can you see here? Pancreas is cream colored. It is located just below the stomach. Here it is the stomach. This is pancreas. It is below the stomach. The pancreatic juice, what does it do? Pancreatic juice is able to act on protein. It acts on protein, it acts on starch, it acts on fats also. Okay, and changes them into simpler forms. I hope you all understand what is pancreatic juice, what is the function. The pancreatic juice is secreted by the pancreas, okay, and it is helpful in digesting protein, starch, and fat. So, in the small intestine, digestion is occurring, and all the components of food are broken down into simple form. How it is getting broken down? I told you that pancreatic juice acts on protein. So when this pancreatic juice is acting on protein, then the protein gets converted into amino acid. Amino acid is the simplest form. Okay, it is the simple form of food. Protein gets converted into amino acid. Pancreatic juice, if it is acting on fat, then the fat will be getting converted into fatty acid and glycerol. Okay, in the same way, starch is carbohydrate. The carbohydrate then gets broken down into simple sugar, that is the glucose. It gets broken down into glucose. So this is how digestion occurs in the small intestine. I hope you all understand. I will repeat. Now small intestine is the coiled-like structure. It is about 7.5 meters long. Digestion of all types of food is carried out in the small intestine. How the small intestine is able to digest, I will be telling you once again. It is carried out by the secretion from the liver and pancreas. Liver and pancreas, they secrete the juices, and they are helpful in digesting various different food components. The digestive juice, which is secreted by the small intestine, here also the digestive juice is able to act on the food components. Liver is the largest gland. Liver is reddish brown in color. It is able to secrete the bile juice, which is stored in the gallbladder. Okay. Then comes the pancreatic juice. The pancreatic juice is secreted by the pancreas, and the pancreatic juice act upon protein. When it acts on protein, it gets converted into amino acid. When it acts on starch, that is the carbohydrate, starch is carbohydrate, it gets broken down into simple sugar, that is the glucose. When it acts on fats, fats get converted into fatty acid and glycerol. Okay, so here I complete with the small intestine, the digestion in small intestine. In the next class, I will be discussing about the absorption in the small intestine, and I will be dealing with further. Okay, so here I end with my topic. Thank you.